Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat, in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw those back at me and say, like, here you go. You'd also just say hi if you just want to say hi. You're under no obligation to use my emotes. Also, if you're not a subscriber, you don't have those emotes, and that's okay. You can just be like, what's up? And that'll be cool. Crazy Like Fox is here. Aristophan is here. Hi, Aristophan. Already got a stellar crew. We're going to get more people, I'm sure, as we go. There's already a light one, but Jam is here. Hell yeah. But Thursdays are usually pretty busy for us, so I'm expecting a few more folks to join us. I got a cool set here. We've got, we're working on our burger, our monster burger truck. You can tell there should be things there. Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. We already got a great crew. I'm looking forward to it. And it's going to be a fun night. We're going to talk about a few things that are happening. Right off the bat, I made a food mistake. Now, not one of those, it's so bad it's good. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, but my tummy is happy that I did it kind of mistakes. No, no, no. Not like when I got Chinese food on Tuesday. That ruled. So I went and grabbed the cupboard because I was out of salad dressing from the fridge. I'd run out, but I had more in the cupboard. Go and grab it. I don't know when I bought this. I bought this a few days ago. And I get my. So you have your opinions. I have mine. I try not to judge you. Please don't try to judge me. I like ranch dressing. I like ranch dressing on my salad. That's me. You do you. That's me. Now, I particularly like Hidden Valley Ranch. That's the kind of ranch I like. The grocery store I go to has that. I grabbed a bottle, I don't know, a week ago because I was running a little low, finished off what I had, opened the new one. But I made a mistake so I'll say this. Let's go to the overhead. We'll get to assembly as I talk about this. There we go. Yeah. So we got our monster truck, our monster burger truck, and we're putting parts on the monster burger truck. And I'm going to talk about how I goofed. I should also say that I'm not the only one that goofed because Hidden Valley shouldn't be putting out such weird ranch products. They've got a bunch, so they've got their basic, which is great, and that's all they need. But then they're also like, let's mix it up. Let's have avocado, cucumber, light. It's never going to taste good. Light ranch dressing is never going to taste good. Keep trying, I guess. But they got one flavor, and I grabbed it by mistake. Now, I would have been, I don't know, avocado would have been weird. I think I would have been okay with that. Cucumber, I've had, it's all right. But I grabbed bacon. So now I have bacon-infused ranch dressing. And it's not bacon flavored. It's fake bacon flavored. It's bacon bits flavored. That's oh my god. I couldn't place it right because it tastes like, hey Lord Gresham, it tastes like artificial bacon, and I was like, well, this is specific because when have I had artificial bacon? I don't eat artificial bacon, but I do. I have because there was a period of my life where my mom and dad would buy bacon bits and you sprinkle that on your salad or whatever. Hi, dude wants his rug. Welcome, welcome. So I have had bacon. I've had that flavor before. So now I have 12 ounces, I think that's how much it is, of bacon flavored, bacon bits, fake bacon flavored ranch dressing. And it was fine. It is going to just last longer. So I guess I'm going to get my money's worth because I can't imagine that I am going to be like consuming a lot of it at once. And whereas I might use ranch for other things like pizza dipping some pizza in there, especially pizza that's like not particularly great. That's always good. Or I do like making grilled cheese and and dipping that in ranch dressing. That's good. Sometimes if I end up with a potato chip that isn't necessarily doesn't have enough on it, ranch dressing is good for that. You know, maybe I'm out of other salad fixings, but I have cucumber left over. Just want to do that. I contain multitudes. I got a lot of options of things I can do. But I don't know if any of that is going to work with my bacon flavored ranch dressing. And look, the world is a mess. And there are so many other things for me to be worried about. But let me be worried about this because, like, I'm a human. I'm a human being. I got hopes and dreams and wants and needs. And sometimes I want to worry about goofy stuff. Just let me worry about some goofy shit. Like, I really messed this up and got ranch dressing that is weird. My bacon flavored ranch dressing is not what I wanted. And now I have to live with those consequences. That's it. That's all I want to say about that. That's not it of all I want to talk about tonight. That's all I have to say about that one particular food crime. I talked about it on Thursday. Thursday was a mess. So I should say, Thursday night stream went bad. I don't know if it was the game or OBS. I re-downloaded OBS and redid all my settings, thinking it might be that because I had changed some things. But as far as I know, it wasn't OBS. It might have been the game. It might have been Twitch that night. But the stream was only an hour, and that was a shame. So I talked about it a little bit on the stream, but because it was a video game, I didn't talk as much. So I'll talk about it now. My local my local Chinese place reopened literally on Tuesday. And I went on Tuesday and I got myself some food and it was glorious. I had very, very good boneless barbecued spare ribs. Now, boneless barbecued spare ribs are American with a capital A, Chinese with a lowercase c, food. It is American-ass American food that Chinese restaurants sell to people like me. But you know what, y'all? It's real good. It's salty and sugary and a meat that I have not consumed in a while. That kind of beef. I haven't had that kind of beef in a bit. And rice. Oh, fried rice, y'all. Oh, man, it ruled. It was awesome. And also, to deal with social distancing, my place, they only have one person working there, and then they have one person doing delivery. And that's how they're dealing with social distancing. They're just having one person come in at a time. And so the person that's on the phone is the person preparing all the food. Harold is now hosting the stream. Thank you very much, Harold. Appreciate that. Thanks for popping in with that host. So they're all alone, and they were closed. This place was closed from the beginning of, a couple weeks into March, a couple days into March or whatever, up until Tuesday. They had been closed this whole time. And so this is their grand reopening, and I was happy to support them because they're a nice little Chinese place with good people, and they remember my order, and that that means a lot to when I come in and she goes, spare ribs or chicken and string beans, and I was like, spare ribs, and she went, okay, and I was just like, I don't know, I felt good about it. Harold's throwing the emotes in there. Appreciate that. I don't know. Like, there's something. Also, Tuesday meant I talked to a human being. Was it only a few words just to order food? Yes. But it was still me talking to a person, and that's nice. Lord Gresham says, I hope they weren't getting a normal load of orders when they're just one person making it. Yeah, I don't know. Those are the best places where they make that effort. Yeah. Lord Crashington, they put a sign up. I heard from the grapevine someone took a photo of the sign saying the day they were reopening. and I imagine that it'll take a little while and word will spread, but it'll take a little bit for people to find out that they're reopened. Because it's not like they don't have like an internet presence per se or anything. I mean, they probably have. I mean, they have you can order online. They probably had to turn that back on so you can place orders. But other than that, I don't know if they have any presence. But it was, it did my heart good. Felt good to support. Um, yeah, right now, just trying to do my thing. Let's talk about it, y'all. The elephant in the room. The thing we've all been waiting to hear about. Uh, Pac-Man 2 for the SNES. Crazy Like Fox literally writing Pac-Man. Pac-Man 2 for the SNES. Okay, let me take you through the whole process. If you didn't watch, it's okay. Last night, I took part in the Hot Fix Gauntlet. Uh, Hot Fix is a series of events that happen outside of Summer Games Done Quick and Awesome Games Done Quick for GDQ, Games Done Quick. They do events outside of that. They do streams, they do tutorial stuff, they do a bunch of different things. There are tournaments, all kinds of things. The idea of the Gauntlet is, and they've done it in live events before, is they're going to have people play games. And sometimes they're all bad games, sometimes they're good games. In this instance, you got 5 games, and you got the games and the save states ahead of time. You were able to test that, make sure your controller works, make sure you have your settings right for all the games, and then you don't know what your goal is, right? So I knew that I had Glover and Final Fantasy 1 and Pac-Man 2. Hi, Mr. Bob, welcome. And I had I forget all the whatever. I had a bunch of games. Super Mario 64. So I had these games, right? Oh, and Mega Man 2. So I had these games, and I knew they worked, and the save states loaded. And I was like, okay. Some of these games I know, some I don't. My opponent, same thing. And then right before the stream starts, or our portion of the stream starts, we find out what our objectives are. So, you may know them, you may not. The thing that I have to make clear to y'all was, my assumption was going to be, I can get the goal for Final Fantasy before I knew what the goal was. I love how easy Twitch TV app makes sending emotes. Oh, good, Mr. Bob. I'm glad. Well, thank you for using the emotes and letting me know you're here. So I figured ahead of time, I can probably do Final Fantasy. I know that I'm not great at platformers, especially 3D platformers. So Mario 64, I might be able to do what they want me to do. I'm not sure. I'm using an Xbox 360 controller or an Xbox One because my Xbox One controller wasn't showing up in the game settings for everything. So, okay, well, that's going to be a problem. Glover, I know, controls poorly. And in testing, I saw that Glover starts with you having to do platforming with the ball. And I was like, I don't think I could do that. But I probably can do Mega Man 2. I probably can nail that. Okay, all right. And then I was like, okay, well, I can probably do those 2 things. I'll get the Final Fantasy 1 and then Pac-Man 2. Whatever. I have no idea what Pac-Man 2 is, other than I know that Drew Scanlon can do an impression of Pac-Man for Pac-Man 2, but I don't really have context for that game. Sure. Well, it turns out the Final Fantasy challenge was beat the first boss. And I was like, okay. Well, I'll just race there and see if I can do it. Well, I'm level 1 and all of my party are thieves, and we don't have any equipment. Now, I had money, apparently, and I could have bought supplies. Or, at least, healing potions. But I didn't know that, and I don't really remember all of Final Fantasy 1. So I just knew, no, this isn't going to work. Skip it. All right, let me try Mario 64. Oh, I am not getting jumps right. A lot of it is I'm not great at platforming. Period. Ever. Period. So Mario 64 and Mega Man 2, I did bad at. And I will say I did bad at them mainly because I'm not good at this. Dirty Monkey's here. What's up? Part of it also was I didn't do a great job because my D-pad is not good on my controller. But even if it was, I still wouldn't have done. I may have managed to do better in Mega Man 2, but not much. I will say coming into it, I was pleased by the idea that most people had only done okay. So I was like, but at this point, I was like, oh no, I'm not doing well at platforming. I could bang my head against Final Fantasy, but I don't think that's going to work. I guess I'm going to have to try to get a point in Pac-Man, because my main goal was to get a point. My real goal was just to get a point, don't lose, don't get 0. I got 0, y'all. Mega Man 2, Pac-Man 2, not Pac-Man World, we're talking Pac-Man 2, you are in control of various ways to interact with Pac-Man as Pac-Man just goes about his business. Oh, whoa! Dirty just give 5 subs. Let's throw the emotes in there. Thank you so much, Dirty, and I'm going to read the names out as they come up. But thank you so much for gifting all those subscriptions. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Dirty. Welcome, Urzog and Falcon Boom, and Anthony Caldwell, and my Kung Fu Grip, Mr. Kung Fu Grip. Sorry, Mr. Kung Fu Grip. I apologize. And that Punk 1. Y'all are now subscribers, and you have emotes you can use. That's so nice of you. Thank you so much for that, Dirty. Gift and subs. Welcome to the top of the old gift and leaderboard. That's fantastic. But yeah, y'all are now subscribers. Thank you very much, and enjoy your subscription. So, Pac-Man just walks around in a side scroller, and you have ways to interact with Pac-Man to get Pac-Man to do a thing. And the thing I had to do was, I had to get Pac-Man to get milk. Now, I accidentally got Pac-Man to walk the right way and realized, oh, there's a cow and a bottle. I need to get that bottle, and then I can milk that cow. I figured that out. Now, apparently, there were people who were like, how does he know how to do this? Oh, that's awesome. He already knows how to do this. And I will tell you, it was a complete and total accident. I was not expecting that. I just lucked into it. Now, the problem is, there was a step I was missing. You gotta scare the raven or crow, whatever it is, the black bird. You gotta scare that black bird. That black bird flies down, knocks the bottle into Pac-Man. Pac-Man has that bottle, or picks the bottle up, goes over, milks the cow, returns to... Then you have to guide Pac-Man back. Alexander was rooting for you to cook that bird. Yeah, I felt bad because I did shoot that chicken and freak the chicken out, and then I felt bad. But yeah, I heard that people were like yelling. At the very least, it feels like it was. My hope is that it was entertaining, because that's the back of my head, right? Well, I don't have the skills to do this. Pac-Man 2, Mr. Bob, is like, yeah, it's that style of adventure game where you don't have direct control. You are the cursor. So it's like a Lemmings adventure game. It's that style. And it's not good. It's bad. And I don't like it. And I'm not happy that I didn't complete it, because you have to believe me. I did try my damnedest in order to make that work. I gave it my all, and I was so ready for it to work, and it did not want to. And that was a bummer. Uh, Nothing like what Pac-Man fans would expect for Pac-Man 2 to be. No, Lord Crashington. Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like they were like, well, we made, we didn't even make Ms. Pac-Man. Someone else ROMmed, and hacked Pac-Man to make it Ms. Pac-Man. So we don't even know how to make another Pac-Man game. We'll just make it something different, very different, and complete nonsense, and call it a day. And that is what that game is. And I didn't complete any tasks, and I lost. I got an 8-minute warning, and I just typed back into Discord, ha, because like everybody knew I wasn't gonna get this, but I was like, I'm missing something. I tried the pellets, I tried a bunch of things, and I was like, this. Even if I knew how to do this, I bet I couldn't. I might not be able to do it. Um, but I thought it would be a cool moment if I managed to do it, but I did not. But at the very least, it was entertaining. My screw up was at least fun to watch. I assume, anyway. um, but yeah, so that was my gauntlet. Now, I am in the losers bracket. I do not know when that will take place or what that will entail, but as a loser, I am in the losers bracket, a thing I didn't know until they announced it during the stream, which is fun to find out. So I'm in the losers bracket, so I get another shot at it. And I also get to submit save states that my opponent, NPC, will have to use. And I don't know exactly what games I'm going to pick. I wouldn't tell you. I will tell you that one of them is a Sega Genesis game. I already know. Also, I have to learn how to make save states in the game, in the program that we were using. So I'm learning stuff. I will admit, most of my emulation was like very old school stuff, and I've been using Virtual Boy mostly. Not Virtual Boy. There's an emulator that's very good for Game Boy Advance games, and I've been using that because I play a lot of Pokemon stuff, especially of the Game Boy Advance era. And this one is like a program that you can like play a bunch of different system things in all in one. It's like a wrapper for it. It's an emulator for like lots of emulation, and it worked really well for our processes because you just drag the ROM in and it'll work. Um, Mostly, some of the ROMs don't work, but uh, I am I am confident that I will pick some fun games for it. And like mostly, I was just happy to be there, right? Happy to be invited. Xandra invited me, who co-hosted. Um, Happy to say that I've done a GDQ, online GDQ event. That's rad. It is obviously not the same thing as speedrunning. Um, I asked them to make it very clear that I am not a speedrunner. I have never speedrun a single thing. Also, I'm not really a video games person. I play a lot of games and I like a lot of games, but I'm not like skilled in games. That's not my thing. Um, so these could be wine glasses. I'll say this piece right here, which you can't see there, but we're going to be using them as bottles, apparently. Solf just subscribed to Tier 1. That's 13 months. Thank you so much, Solf. Let's hit the emotes and thanks Solf. Get the applause there. Burger truck. Indeed, we are working on our monster burger truck. It is a food truck that is also a monster truck. Thank you so much, Solf, for renewing your subscription. Appreciate that very much. Using the old Tier 1. We had a retweet of some kind. There's a thing going around of, like pick your crew, Star Trek the official Star Trek Twitter account was like, "Here's your money, pick your crew," and I was like, "Keep the change. I want Data because Data is the entire crew. Data can do everything. Data has done everything. So you just need Data." And then also I got number one, cause and not Reichert. Number one, the dog, because now I have a dog. So I got Data doing everything, and then I just have a dog. Sorry, I just won. I don't care if that's cheating. I will be a cheater if it means that I get a cool dog, a Data doing all the work for me. It's like, yeah, I want Jedzia Dax to hang out. Yeah, of course I do. Of course I want to hang out with Jedzia Dax. Dax rules, but like also Data. And yes, maybe I want Bashir or Bones. But both of them are annoying character. They are annoying people. That is their thing, is that they are annoying. So maybe I don't want that. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of things to think about when you're putting together your crew for space stuff. Anyway, G to Q stuff. The gauntlet was really fun. I was genuinely nervous. Here's the thing that was kind of interesting. My nerves were not were performance nerves, and I don't get those much anymore. So I do this, right? I'm I am what I am at this. I don't want to say I'm good at this, but the specifics of what I do here for y'all are a known quantity for me, right? Be it Twitch sings or building a model kit. It is rare that I am not at least fairly composed. Good or bad, doing a good job, not doing a bad job. I get frustrated now and again, of course, but like it's a known quantity. I know how to do a model kit live stream, and I know how to do most of the games in my streams, right? But playing games for an audience where I wasn't on mic, I'm not in control, it's not my thing, I'm a guest, and I like got like tasks to achieve. That was scary in a way that I don't get anymore. I don't feel those nerves. That nervous energy is not something that like occurs with me. Uh, and it was kind of nice, like I don't know, like getting out of my comfort zone. Like I had the part of the reason why I was promoting it so much was so that I didn't back out of it. Like, because sometimes, I'm not the first person, I'm not the last person, but I'm fine with saying that sometimes you feel like you get that like fight or flight, and it's flight. Uh, that kind of like, oh, I'm not a gamer. I'm not a speed runner. I shouldn't be doing this. Someone else should be doing this. Like I'm taking a spot. Yeah, I was invited to do this, but like, do they know what they're getting when they invite me? And do I deserve to do this? And all those things that like can eat at you. They were eating at me. Uh, and so yeah, by telling people, hey, I'm doing this, it kind of like meant that I had to. That I like shouldn't, but I couldn't back out because I had to get it done. And and I'm glad I did it. I had a really good time with it. And yeah, like I said, it's that I don't really get nervous much anymore with live performance. Improv, I will get nervous about now and again if I haven't performed improv in a while. So the first time I set on stage again to do an improv thing, I will probably be pretty nervous about it because it's been a very long time. But like, 404ing it, nah. Improvised post-mortem, nope, not anymore. When I first started doing it, yeah, maybe. Now, no. Pat Bear's Anime Club, no fear because my guests were so strong and because with the multimedia that I had, I knew that I had strong material to reference, and at the very least, I could just show cool clips of things, but also my guests were so strong. And this is a weird thing to say, and I understand if it comes off, jerky, but like, it's just a panel. It's just a panel, like at PAX. Oh no, it doesn't go well. Oh well. That if it went terribly, I wouldn't have put the video up. I would have been like, yeah, it didn't film well. But it did go well, so I put the video up. Um, uh, Aristophan says, glad you had fun. It was fun to watch. I had a blast doing it. I watched the first two. I mean, it's just also, it's a good format. Making people do things. I do think that they may want to consider in the final rounds having people's mics on, because we did not send our mic info or audio, and we were not in through OBS, and we were not on the Discord until after. I think as they get into the finals, depending on the people anyway, it might make sense to do that. Um, although that would keep commentary from being able to give to talk to the audience about what was going on. It's I'm not sure. Lord Crashington asks, do you think PAX Prime, the physical con, will get canceled, and they just set up an online con of streamed panels? Lord Crashington, 100% PAX West, PAX Prime will be canceled. There is no fucking way that Seattle is going to have that convention. Now, for insurance purposes, they have not outright canceled it. They probably Reed has probably done the math and realized that for insurance purposes, for the various things that are happening. Did I miss a step somewhere? I missed a step somewhere. That they really need. I missed a thing. Sorry, I gotta go. No. Oh no, that's just the angle. That's just the angle. Never mind, I didn't miss anything. They need to be told, hey, you can't do this. They're waiting to be told, hey, you can't do this, so that they get insurance and things with hotels and venues and all kinds of things. So they need to be told, no, you can't do this. Will they do an online panel or PAX? I think at some point it behooves them to do so that they can sell advertising to it, drum up interest with it, have some Twitch integration going. They could pay a production company to run panels, and infrastructure. They certainly know people. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Is it just another having Indie Mega Booth run an indie showcase through under the PAX banner? Is that a thing? I mean, basically, Mega Booth is on hiatus right now due to the fact that there aren't going to be conventions, so they needed to take steps to protect themselves. But an entity like that running some sort of games advice thing, and then having some tabletop events with the Penny Arcade folks because people really like those things, and doing that live, and running a virtual con. I'm sure conversations are happening. Now, do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I could see PAX Unplugged going digital, despite the fact that that is a convention about board games. I could see that going digital and people playing tabletop stuff online and doing those kind of panels. I could see that happening. I'd certainly be in conversation about doing it. I have not submitted anything. I won't be submitting anything to PAX West. If PAX West does happen, I'm not going. It'll be a bummer to miss my first PAX. If it does actually happen in limited capacities and, small numbers and, certain rooms, and queue sizes and all kinds of things, I'm not going. I'm not flying to Seattle in 2020. So, but I don't think it will physically happen. And an online version is that's an interesting idea. I could see them figuring something out there. Maybe making something work. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, Reed still has, they still have employees and they're still working. So theoretically, they're working on stuff. Uh, what that stuff is, I do not know and cannot tell you. But, you know, it, it's possible. All right, we are basically on bag three because I knolled everything ahead of time just to save time and be able to build more. Um, if you missed the first day of building of this, we were just building up. There is one cool thing is when this is on tires, it has a ladder that retracts because you got to step up because it's going to be high up, so you got to have a ladder, which is a fun little bit of nonsense. This is a 3-in-1 kit. We are starting with the burger truck, the Monster Burger Truck. We will build all three versions, so we will be building a tractor and another kind of vehicle, like two other kind of vehicles. That's fine. Also, I do want to point out that the driver of our burger truck is this gentleman right here. He does have goggles, and he does have sunglasses painted on underneath those goggles, and does have a plastic mustache, and is pretty great. No idea when I'll feel good about going to public events, and that's in Australia where things aren't too bad. A Gutter, yeah. First off, Gutter Kisser, great username, as always. But also, yeah, I don't know. I've said this, right? Uh, if PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia happens, maybe I'll take the train down one day, do a panel like I did last year, at the end of last year. It's in December. Maybe. if New York Comic Con or Anime NYC, which both take place at the Javits Center, one in October, one in November, I'm tentatively scheduled anyway. I have said that I am available those dates to work that convention, but I don't fucking know if game time, if I'm like, yes, I will work this convention for you. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know. Harold says, I had to go into work yesterday and pack up my classroom. That was tough. Harold, fully understands that. Yeah, it makes sense that you would have to go back in there, but also, yikes. I tweeted about this. Look, we talk about a lot of stuff. We'll move on to another topic, but I do want to say, uh, I got real fucking bummed out. I clicked on a video because I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, like we all do, right? One of the people I follow is a former WWE wrestler who was laid off in the big layoff, and his girlfriend, they live together, is currently in NXT in developmental. She's on NXT. She does the road when the road was a thing. She's there. They went to a Walmart figure hunting because Walmart was going to have these exclusive figures, so they went figure hunting. And neither of them had a mask on in Florida. And I get it. It's Florida. But also, it's a real fucking bummer to see. I was like, what? What? They were in the car, and he was talking while he was driving, and I was like, oh, well, this is weird. This is a weird thing. She's filming him. They're going to get steaks and figs, go some figure hunting, and get some steaks. And I was just like, boo. What the fuck? And I will say this. Predominantly, the comments were about how why would you go to a store to get figures that you bought online just because they haven't been you haven't gotten them yet? What are you doing? And then, people laughing because the figures weren't there. And then also, multiple comments were like, no masks, huh? would be nice if you said a good, that's a bummer. You're not wearing any masks, huh? And I was like, yeah, all right. Good on ya. Uh, yeah, don't let them not be able to, yeah, please, 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 please comment about that. Uh, oh, Silver Streak, I apparently joined a downer time. Oof, yes. We will move on. Uh, Glad people are actually calling them out. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing, right? I was just like, yes, we will move on, Silver Streak. It was just a thing that literally happened while I was prepping for the stream. So it was a thing where I was like, because just people are going to be people, and you think someone who's works for a company that has been thoroughly lambasted by people saying, and applauded by others, not everyone, but has been said, how are you essential workers? What are you talking about? So they keep saying how they're hitting all the precautions, right? Well, she goes into work. She was just at a Walmart without a mask, and she goes into work to wrestle. What the fuck? Had to work today, so I crashed in and tried out a bandana as a mask that I forgot I had, which was Samurai Champloo themed. Hell yeah. Silver Streak says I was supposed to renew my license yesterday, and at an appointment, my appointment got bumped because the staff spent an hour de-escalating a guy who was losing his mind that he wasn't allowed into the DMV without a mask. Yeah, there are a lot of people. I mean, there was a thing in Long Island about people yelling at a reporter and blah blah blah, and just like Long Island's good to Long Island. About just people and their freedoms and various other shenanigans. I tweeted this. I spent part of today wondering, because I do have masks, and I do have bandanas, and I do have, shirts that are just sitting around that don't fit me much anymore, or kind of old, or kind of got worn out. Can I make a grifter mask? And the answer is maybe. For those that don't know, Grifter is a DC character, originally as part of Image and Wildstorm. He's a wildcat. That's wild, Cats. He's one of the wildcats. He has a mask that covers most of his face. It goes above, covers his eyes completely in his face, and is red, and then has black around the eyes, and the eyes are actually white. How would you see out? Well, Silver Streak, I probably wouldn't do the white because I don't know how. I want to know. I would have to get a white mesh to be able to see out of. So I probably wouldn't be able to do the white properly. You need a face covering. Ugh. It wasn't even needed a mask. Oh God. So yeah. So I have been theorizing and wondering and thinking maybe I could make it. Like I said, the biggest issue of it would be that I would not well, it's two things. One, I can get the shape right because I can use a bandana as a guide about like how wide it needs to be to wrap around my head, right? So I could do that part and then tie off. So I can get that part in pretty good, and figure out that out and dimensions and how long it needs to be. I can figure out width and length. And eye holes I can probably figure out. I don't have like a mannequin, but I can I can use like tape on my finger where put it over my face, poke eyes there, and get a rough sense of it. And get the eye holes cut out. It's getting the black parts of Grifter's mask, the fabric, which would just be an old T-shirt as well. To hear the two pieces of fabric together, like I don't know if I have the right stuff for that. So I don't know about that part because what I don't have is a needle and thread. I know I don't have that. So it would be glue, fabric glue, which I think I have. I don't know. Why? Why would I make this? I don't know. Virginia is opening tomorrow. I'm torn, but also upset that they banned growler beer sales, even though I have been doing that all lockdown. Mr. Bob, I'm sorry. Yeah, the uh, the beverage people were like, we're not going back, right? We're sticking with this whole like beer delivery thing, right? We're like, probably not. Probably not. I mean, some areas maybe, but probably not. Anyway, I don't know why I want to make that mask, but I do want to make that mask, and I don't know how I'm gonna make that mask. I'm not gonna make it on stream because I'm telling you right now, it. I'm just gonna keep messing it up. But I will share the results if I do make it. I just it's gonna be my plans tomorrow. Is I'm gonna work. I'm gonna try to figure this mask out. Eliminating current bar culture might be a real positive. Yeah, I mean, look, they gotta do a lot of stuff right now. Um, I don't know. It's all a lot of messy stuff. All right, let's build a menu. Um, they're closing parts of Main Street for outside restaurant seating. Yes, please post a grifter mask. Yeah, Silver Streak. I don't know. Like I said, it's not something I want to do on stream because I don't. It it we might get as far as I have cut up an old shirt because I have a red shirt. The sleeves are already messed up anyway. What ends up happening is I might just cut up an old shirt and get it so it's on there and cut eye holes out and then stare at it for a while as I figure out how to cut and trace out the black parts of the mask of it and figure out how to apply that and then really goof that up. I just, I mean, I can vision. No bureaus. Uh, I just don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know how. I wish I had the funds to commission a mask maker that I know who runs a company dedicated to making masks because they could knock that out and no problem. I just do not have the funds to do that. Because also, one, it would be a mask and that's fun, and then I don't have a blonde wig, but all I need was a blonde wig, and then a green duster, and then I can cosplay as Grifter in the future, and that's fun. That's a fun thing. I was like, oh, that'd be a okay cosplay. I could do that if I wanted to. Might be nice. Here's the menu. These are very good prices. For just a burger, $2.50. Soda, $1. French fries, $2. You know, you're not getting a combo, but like, that's pretty good for a food truck. In this economy, I've never said that out loud. All right, let's build the front part of our truck here. I can't wait to build this burger. I got the pieces for the burger. I know these are the burger pieces over here. I can't wait to put together our burger. Second hour, we are going to talk about anime that came out this week. I will talk about 3 shows that I watch because none of the shows I watch that are on these days have been delayed, and were actually kind of interesting. At least, you know, one of them is what it is, and I'm not super enthused about right now. But 2 of them had some stuff happen that was like interesting, and so I'll be interested to talk about those 2 things. Let's see. Standard stream stuff. Gonna stream on Saturday. Gonna stream next Monday. Next Wednesday, we'll be back with our normal bonus game stream. I'm going to post a poll up for my $3, $5, and $10 patrons over on patreon.com/PatBaer to decide what I build or what I play. And it will be like Twitch Sings, Hearthstone, and get the milk in Pac-Man 2. I'm putting up as an option. If people want me to get that milk in Pac-Man 2, I will go get that milk in Pac-Man 2. announcement. Let me just real quick make sure that did I save that in state? Yeah, I still have it. Good. I still have the save state. So I could load that up and do that. So I think that's going to be the new Intellivision just became a Giant Bomb favorite since former Xbox dude Jay Allard is the new director. Yeah, look, Lord Crashington, to me, Jay Allard doing that is akin to Reggie joining the board of GameStop. It's just so they can say it. It's not like Jay Allard is going to put on the jacket and hoodie and print. Like, it's just good. It's that good memory burst you get. It's that mental thing where you're just like, oh, Jay Allard. Whereas there are other people who are like, I don't know who that is. I don't know why you're excited about that. Also, what's an Intellivision? So, like, it is, of course it hits all the Giant Bomb, not all of it, it hits certain Giant Bomb people right in the, like, oh. And, like, I get that. I'm not trying to disparage that vibe and that feeling. But, like, also none of them want that Intellivision thing, probably. They just like the idea of Jay Allard maybe is going to be interviewed on a thing. And they could see Jay Allard. I don't know. That's just my personal interpretation. What is... Don't point like... This is weird. So, I've got this thing here, which I thought was a spatula, right? Thought this was a spatula. But then it's like, point that here. It's pointing like inside it, and I don't know where it's supposed to be putting it. Whatever, I'll find out when we, I'll find out when you open it up. I'll look for a photo of it. Maybe I'll go ahead. Pat, what is the press photo for this announcement? I'm going to click on a link. And boom, Intellivision Entertainment adds renowned game journalist veteran Jay Allard as global managing director. Former Microsoft executive and Xbox co-founder returns to the video game industry to further bolster leadership team and launch Intellivision, a Miko game console. And then there's a photo of Jay Allard wearing a flannel shirt, which tells you right now that Intellivision Entertainment does not know what it has. If you're going to post a photo of Jay Allard, you don't have a photo of Jay Allard wearing a flannel shirt. Like, I guess. I don't know. Look, like I said, it's just to be like, ooh, an industry vet. That'll pique interest with people that don't know anything. That's all it is. And people that do have that kind of, and people that do have that warm, fuzzy feelings. It's the same thing when, like, Atari does a thing. People were like, ooh, Atari. That's a name I recognize. It has nothing to do with anything that I love about Atari or remember about Atari or care about when it comes to Atari. But I'm still very enthused about this because Atari. That's all it is. I don't know where this is supposed to go. Pointed in a weird spot. I'm just gonna leave this aside here, the spatula. But that's all this is, in my opinion. Maybe Jay Allard has been itching to get back into games and help out with a marketing strategy, and this feels good, and this is something he approached them. He was like, hell yeah. Tommy Tallarico is the head of this Intellivision, so it has some name cred. Oh, you mean the person that makes music? You mean the person who makes a living making music for games is the head of whatever this is? Again, Tommy Tallarico, a person who, for many, the only reason you know who Tommy Tallarico is because, oh, that's the guy that does guitar solos in Video Games Live. cool. The guitar solo guy from Videos Games Live is running a company making a product using a name I don't know anything about. I don't have a picture of it in a blazer hoodie, but I do have a gif of Ryan laughing while burning a pile of money. Yep. Hello, Zandra. Welcome. Hey, subscribers, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe if you're here and you're a tier 2 in the chat because Zandra made those. Uh, Zandra, thank you so much for inviting me to be on the Gauntlet last night. It was a load of fun. Um, and yeah, it was a real good time. At the very least, I hope I entertained people with my shenanigans. Nope, not gonna pull this off. Oh, not gonna pull this off either. Oh well, I'm pot committed now, folks. When you hear the term pot committed, if you're not a poker player, poker term, it's used in other things, but mostly in poker. I believe it originated in poker. Dirty just gifted a sub to Zandra. Dirty, just so many gifting. Thank you so much. Let's hit the applause there. Dirty with another gift sub. That's the 6th tonight. Dirty, thank you so much. You're keeping me fed. I appreciate it. Xander, welcome. Now you have access to your own. Lord Crashington wants me to hit that gong. It's time to hit that gong. We hit that. You use those points. I play a gong. Enjoy that decorative gong. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Look, all of these things. When you just Tommy Tallarico, Jay Allard, all of this stuff is just like a weird thing that like makes some people's eyes like perk up a little bit, or ears perk up a little bit, and I go, oh, okay. But it's not. It doesn't. It moves the needle sometimes, but it's. I don't know. I'm sure he was, Mr. Bob. All these guys got a thing. It's not, they go in there, they make a big impact, they make their money, they move up as far as they can. They realize that a thing that happens in a lot of corporate entities, not all of them, but a lot of corporate entities out there is you leave to maybe come back. You hit the point where you cannot rise any further in the company that you are working for, and so you must leave that company to go do other things to then get a better job at a smaller version of what you were doing before so that you can go back to the bigger thing or to another thing and move up even higher. Because a lot of companies they hire from within only to a certain aspect, and then they pull in from other companies because they want to reward loyalty to a point, but they also want to bring in fresh eyes. Like, sometimes that doesn't make any sense. Or on paper, it doesn't make any sense. Let's get a guy who is best known for a terrible pizza product and put him in charge of Nintendo of America. Turns out that was a good call. But on paper, seems like a weird choice. Like, they probably had somebody lined up for that job that was internal, that rose to the ranks of Nintendo in America, that probably saw Reggie Fils-Aimé's name there, looked up Reggie, and was like, okay, so I'm going to look for another job because I don't want to work here anymore. Yes. I liked and had many a big... Yes, Lashbrook. I'm not saying it was a bad product. I'm saying it did very poorly and is remembered by Domino's as a failure. It is a failure. It is a swing and a miss for that company. So Jay Allard is why Windows has TCP IP. No one thought this internet thing was going to be big. Pizza Hut. Apologies. Harold corrects me, and I apologize. Let the record show it was Pizza Hut. It was not Domino's. It was Pizza Hut. But yeah, it is that thing where you bring in fresh eyes and a new perspective, and then you go and do other things, right? Like, here's the thing: neither of the doctors from BioWare, right, the founders of BioWare, neither of those gentlemen work, like run a big giant game studio. But guess what? Either of them go to people and say, "Hey, I founded BioWare. Give me money. I'm going to start up a company. We're going to have 50 employees. We're going to make weird games for just the PC." Money's going to show up because one of the BioWare doctors is going to be yeah, all right. We'll do it. Ken Levine is going to keep being able to get money to make studios happen. Totally will. There's no way that Ken Levine won't be able to keep having game studios because somebody's going to be like, well, it's Ken Levine. So yeah, Jay Allard coming back to games, sort of. Sure. What happened to his current one? Lashbrook, here's the thing. I don't even know. I haven't been paying attention. He might have one. They might have been bought up by a publisher and the name was changed again. I don't even know. I think Lashbrook. So he had one, and then that went away, and then he has a new one. But I also think that one went away. Skunkworks team at 2K. No one knows what they're working on. Okay, yes, because he basically it became a 2K thing. But I don't know. I can't comment on that. But I can tell you that if Ken Levine shows up and being like, "Hey, I have a studio. Here's the game we're working on," people will be like, "Yeah," because of course they will. Uh, it's a whole thing. Nobody goes away from games. You know, for sometimes for worse. Look, mostly for worse. Let's be real, mostly for worse. Uh, it's a whole thing. It's why I am always happy that I am not in the games press because it means that I don't have to play video games for coverage purposes if I think the person who made it or is the face of it is an asshole. Or let's say works with and has still been supporting and won't stop supporting a garbage person. So someone like Swery still works with a person who hurt friends of mine as their boss, like financially and emotionally abused people that I care about very much, and is still working with Swery. So do I buy Swery games? Well, if I'm the games press, I cover Swery games. But as me, Pat Baer, fuck no, I don't. Enjoy Deadly Premonition, I won't. Because Swery still wants to support a garbage person that hurt friends of mine. And so I don't have to do that. You don't have to be Jeff Gerstmann with his mountain of games. I also don't have to be that. Lord Crashington, I don't have to be that. But I also don't have to I don't have to play a video game that was based on a property owned by Orson Scott Card. Oh, I'll never have to play that game. If they remake that game for modern consoles, I still won't play it because I'm not giving Orson Scott Card any money. That dude actively used his money and influence to try to make sure that friends of mine couldn't get married in California. So, fuck that dude forever. Thank God I don't have to cover video games. I don't buy THQ Nordic games anymore because of that 8chan AMA stunt. Yeah, and that's a weird thing, right? Because like that THQ Nordic and Coach Media and all of that has a bunch of names and subsidiaries, and they're owned by the same people, and now they made a trade for properties. So a game that you weren't going to buy because THQ Nordic was publishing it, well, now they're not because that moved over to the Koch Media. Maybe that's all a nightmare and a mess, but I don't blame you because it is what it is. But that is the nice thing about being a consumer, right? Is that like I consume these things and I do these things, and like I'm not a big enough name to have anyone cause a panic because I'm not supporting their thing, because I'm talking or I'm not promoting or interested in their thing, right? Like it doesn't affect me. Also, I should also say, like, it's everybody's choice, right? Like, if sites are going to play Deadly Premonition 2 for the Switch, they can play it. Matt Kahn's name's going to be on that game in the special thanks. I'm sure of it. Because Matt Kahn still works with Swery. So, like, sure. You know, he worked on that Toe Jam and Earl game. And then had Nick Robinson on the live stream for that Toe Jam and Earl game. And if you want to play that game, sure. You know, help, sure. But I'm not gonna. I'm good. They also changed the name of the THQ Nordic company that owned all of the publishers, which is called Embracer now. Yeah, that whole story, like, I don't... Yeah, so THQ Nordic and Koch Media and all of that, like, it's all a garbled mess of who owns what and how, and theoretically, Volition is closer to having a red faction again, but I don't know. And who knows how many people are there that worked on it the first time that might be that might even matter or mean anything to. And it's all a mess and weird, and who knows if Mark, you know, like, shout out to Mark, but who knows what happened to any of that stuff. And it's all kinds of garbage and weird. But at the same time, as I've said, as far as consumers goes, like, we make our choices, right? The thing that I always say about these things when we talk about them is, hey, I still listen to Beck, a Scientologist, even though I have lots of issues with Scientology, a whole mess of issues with Scientology. I still listen to Beck. I still like Beck. You know, I'll let people make their choices on that stuff and live their lives as best I can. But you know, it's all rough and fucked, and I don't know what to tell you. Other than I'm going to change the subject in a minute or two to be promotional, because it's 10:15, y'all, and we've got to take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. I know this is coming out of nowhere and feels weird to be like, I got a big problem with this. Anyway, he supposedly has quit being a Scientologist. Okay, Dirty Monkey thrown in there. It's actually water, but I will drink it. It is the Nightbot command is water. But yes, and honk says Goose, and Goose says honk. Anyway, it's time for a pause for the cause. Folks, if you're just joining us for the first time tonight, you don't know what that means, because it's a weird thing that I say. It's a radio phrase. It just means for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the stream if you want to. You are under no obligation to do so, but if you would like to support the stream, there are ways you can do so. First and foremost, if you're a subscriber, You can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site emote in the chat. Let the people know. Being a subscriber using your Twitch Prime coin, because you have Amazon Prime linked with Twitch Prime, and you support me that way by giving your token there. That's like money. Or you could use money and become a subscriber. The numbers go up. It means that I always hit that threshold. In January, we didn't, which was a shame. But most months, I do hit that threshold. I do get that payout. That payout is coming theoretically tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to be getting my monthly payout, which is awesome. It allows me to keep doing these streams because that money goes into feeding the meter, basically, and keeping the streams going the way they are, and me flush with model kits and Lego sets and things like that. That's one way to support the stream. You could also, I mentioned it earlier, I got a Patreon. You could join my Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. They all give you different things. The $5 is if you want videos early. I always put videos up a day early. And as soon as I'm done with the stream, I archive it. And as quickly as I can, I send out the archive of the stream for YouTube to you. $3 means that once a month you vote on a game that I work on. $10 means that at least once a month you vote on what I build next. So this won the poll, and so that's why I'm working on this. Now, if you want me to build something on stream and have it jump my queue, jump the backlog of stuff I have, there are two ways of doing that. The first is to buy something off my Amazon wish list. I keep it updated. I haven't updated it as much lately just because, you know why. But there's still stuff there. Check the shipping dates. But if you buy something from my wish list, when it arrives, it jumps the queue, and I will build it before I build other things. The last thing I built on stream was the Justice Knight. That came from the wish list. So if you buy something on the wish list, I build it on stream. That's awesome. I understand if that's not something people want to do right now for various reasons. I also have another option. USA Gundam Store. You can buy a gift card on USA Gundam Store. You send me that code because you get a code in an email. You send me a whisper or DM with that. I'll use that code and I'll buy something from USA Gundam Store and they'll ship it to me. I got kits from USA Gundam Store waiting for me to build, and from also from Gundam Planet waiting for me to build. I got a good little backlog right now, so thank you all for everybody who's been gracious enough to make donations that way. Oh yeah. Speaking of, I just have donations, just straight donations. Anything that I get through Patreon, from Twitch, through donations, goes to buying kits and equipment. Again, we're going to get to building in just a minute or two, but I quickly got to go through these things. I have a Discord. If you're watching this later on YouTube, all the links that I'm talking about right now are in the show description, including the link to my Discord. And join my Discord. It's a nice little community. People post photos of things they're working on, kits they've got in, kits they've built, things they're planning on building next. I post photos at the end of every stream in there. Yeah, it's a good way to keep track of what's going on with me. I've got 2 videos for you to watch. Pat Baer's Anime Club is the first video. Pat Baer's Anime Club, this is about manga. It's Pat Baer's Manga Club. It's the first ever Pat Baer's Manga Club episode. I put that out on Monday to give you some ideas of things you can read, and stuff that's available in English, some stuff that's available on Viz's streaming service or Shonen Jump streaming service. If you're looking for something to pick up, you want to read on your computer, you want to read in a book, because you just don't have any room for manga anymore. Oh, you've always been interested in it. I talk about 4 books that you can check out. And yes, Christian mentioned a book that I'm going to be checking out that I hadn't actually heard of that seemed pretty cool, and I'm probably going to pick that up. I don't read a lot of manga, but I figured, hey, why not? Talk about a few of the things that I do like. Also, yesterday I put up a new Baering the List. That's my weekly series, where Baering the List is a nice little weekly series where I rank things. I use Tier Maker, the ranking people, and I make my tier. I find tiers. I make my own. I just did Uno cards. I don't know why. I saw it and I was like, that's fun. I'll rank Uno cards. That's a nonsense thing I could just do, and I did that, and that was fun. So watch that one. But next week's, I recorded it today. I'll tell you what it is. It is next week's video, next Wednesday's video. So 6 days from now, you'll be able to see, or 5 days from now if you watch the video because you're a $5 or $10 patron. Um, I'm going to, over the course of several videos, at least 2 videos, rank every show that appeared on Toonami. And the first one, I'm doing the Moltar years, before Tom became the leader of Toonami, when they were just using Moltar. So that's 1997 to the middle of 1999. I ranked 10 shows that aired, because there were 10 shows that aired in that block, the Toonami block. I didn't include the movies or the made-for-TV movies. So none of the Dragon Ball Z movies, and neither of the Batman animated series direct-to-home video movies. But every show that aired on that, I ranked. And I don't know if I'm going to do what next, if I'm going to do 1999 to 2004 or maybe 99 to 2002 as another video. I don't know. But I will eventually rank all of the Toonami, because Toonami was done a little dirty pretty recently, and I want to make up for it by properly ranking all of the shows. It's a good video. That's next week. But this one about Uno cards is fine. I don't know. I literally had one, and then the images weren't loading, and I was like, Uno, sure, okay. Because sometimes that's how as they say, sometimes that's how it be. And sometimes it is. Dirty just asked a question using the coins there. Who would win in a fight, the Cowboys of Moo Mesa or the Street Sharks? It's the Biker Mice from Mars. The Biker Mice from Mars would beat both of them. All right, let's get back to building. I got some anime to talk about. It's Street Sharks. Street Sharks would win. But then Street Sharks would lose to the Biker Mice from Mars. Okay, so here are the 3 shows that came out since the last time I did a build stream on Monday. Right? Xandra agrees about those Biker Mice from Mars. It's just a good dumb name. It's just a good silly name. Silly, I should say. Okay, so it's weird that I'm not watching Black Clover, because Black Clover is on hiatus, and that is weird because that is a thing that I watch every Tuesday. So that is still very strange to me that is not a thing I can watch because it's on hiatus. It's just very odd. I might be done with Tower of God because I kind of don't care. I needed to care, y'all, because the art style is not appealing to me in the slightest. Do not enjoy how it looks. So I need to be interested in the story, and I'm not. That anime goes fast. It's just... Look, I was intrigued by the idea that our character's driving force was climb the tower, find Rachel. And then Rachel is there. But Rachel doesn't want to, but Rachel is going to, now we have this thing where like Rachel has to pretend it's not Rachel and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, well then don't introduce Rachel if you're not going to deal with it. Did you see they finally postponed Gal and Dino? Yes, Lastbrook. But they don't do anything with that. Yes, Christian, that's what I'm saying. So they do the interesting thing of, oh, the thing you didn't think you were going to see for a long time? Check it out. But then they're like, actually, don't check it out. And here's 20 other characters, and maybe their motivations are cool. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm done with it because there's every anime I like is being postponed, but I'm not watching it on Wednesdays when it comes out like instantly. I'm not surprised that Gal and Dino, apparently they shot a lot of it ahead of time, but because half that show is the live action, which I found out, this is a thing I didn't know until this announcement. So, for those that don't know, Gal and Dino is a show where the first half is animated. It's like a 15-minute episode, like 11 or 12, um, is animated, and the second portion is a live action. And they are intertwined in that they're both based on the manga, but apparently they are different production companies making it, which makes sense because one is animated and one is live action. Um, and that's wild and weird. But you could tell that like 2 episodes ago, some of the show was shot like earlier in the year, um, and you could tell because it's like everyone has masks on, and that's not necessarily uncommon for Japan, but generally not everyone in an outdoor market is going to wear masks instead of a couple people that are like actors clearly there that aren't people that work in that. And it was weird. It was a weird thing. Christian says still likes it, but the last couple episodes are weak. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Tower of God, I was already like, the art style just didn't really appeal to me, and I was like, well, and folks have opinions on webtoons, and some people are so psyched to start seeing webtoons come out. I don't, that doesn't really mean anything to me. It's so mostly I'm just like not super enthused about it, and I would like to be. I'm just not. That's my take. Anyway, Gallon Dino is going to be delayed, and that's a bummer because that show rules, and it is one of my 2 favorite series this season. It's one of my 3 favorite series. I can't lie. One of my favorite series is I'm going to talk about in a minute or two. But first, I want to talk to you about the other show that I watched today. The Eighth Son, Are You Kidding Me? And look, is The Eighth Son, Are You Kidding Me a modern isekai? Yes, it's not a postmodern isekai. It is a modern isekai. All of the good and bad things that go along with that. Uh, um, so The Eighth Son is the story of a guy in the real world. He's a cog in a machine. He works for a living. He goes to sleep. He wakes up. He's in a young boy's body, and he has magical powers, and it's a fantasy realm where like heritage and rank mean a lot. He's the eighth son, so he's not going to win anything, but he's got these magical abilities and he gets trained, and he's like one of the best mages in the country. He's got made a Baron, but he doesn't have lands. It's a whole thing. Anyway, he ends up having to enter this tournament. It's a martial arts tournament, and because he's a Baron, he's got to enter, otherwise his lord will look bad. But he's not a good sword fighter. Now, you'd think he's the main character in a modern isekai, right? He would be incredibly good at everything, including sword fighting. He's not. If he uses magic, he can bolster his sword abilities, but he's not. That's not his skill. He's not a skilled fighter in that way. He's only really overpowered when it comes to magic, in that he is one of the strongest magicians in the kingdom. So it's an isekai where the main character isn't necessarily super overpowered, but it's not a postmodern isekai where the point is that he's underpowered or has no powers. He still has powers. And it really, honestly, the episode is about the dude in his party who doesn't have any magic, because magic is kind of rare. Now, his compatriots, a spear fighter and a martial artist, they have magical abilities, but their magic is just to enhance their fighting styles, and so they won't be able to use those in combat. So the guy who has the most advantage is the guy who uses the sword, but he feels like, oh, I'm going to get replaced, and it's kind of interesting. And then the saint, the healing magic person who's joined their party, well, it turns out she's been feeling bad because she was never trained physically, and she's going to become an adventurer, and she feels like she's going to put them at risk because she can't do pull-ups or whatever, like she doesn't have the physical endurance of the rest of them. And you get to see like the characters that are in this party, like, yeah, they're going to be all look, are all the ladies that we've been introduced to engaged to be married to the main character? Yes. Is it that? Is it? And he has he been kind of clueless about that thing? Yes. They're not in love with them necessarily. They just know it would be a good call for them to get married. But like the ideas of class and class system um, are pretty interesting. And our dude, well, loses instantly against one of the best swordsmen in the country. He just straight up gets Now, if he had magic with him, if he could enhance his defense, maybe he would have been in a better spot. But he just gets beat. And that's so weird to see a main character in Isekai not be the best. It was kind of refreshing. So that was kind of neat. And also, there was an appearance by my favorite minor character, Armstrong. He appeared last week. He's a battle mage. His magical ability covers himself in magical armor. So he's a mage, but he doesn't use like attack spells. He doesn't throw fireballs. He just gives himself magic armor and then goes and beats stuff up. Because last week he just punched a dragon a bunch. And he's a big giant dude with a mohawk. And his name is Armstrong. And now he's going to train well. Because everyone did well enough did good enough job in this tournament that they're all going to get masters to help train them. But he's also going to train well. So maybe Well will get some magic that can help him with offense. I think that's what's going to happen. Like I said, is it a great isekai? It's an alright isekai. Is it a great anime? It's not great. It still has a 12-year-old girl who is engaged to be married. And it's still a fucking weird fantasy thing. Look. It's no... my next life as a villainess, all routes lead to doom. Anime shit. Yeah, it's still anime shit. Because my next life as a villainess, all routes lead to doom. It's a postmodern anime. We've had this or postmodern isekai. We've had this conversation before. There's old school isekai. There's modern traditional isekai. And there's postmodern isekai, which is the reactionary to what has been happening in isekai, which is what we're getting now. We're getting the reactionary ones, the slime, the spider, the vending machine, the idea of isekai, where the main character goes over there and doesn't want to do it, has no interest in doing it, and being a hero and just does other shit. Ascendance of a Bookworm, which is an isekai where there is magic, but it's really just about a girl trying to get books, just trying to read some books. Or didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life, which is a comedy that is self-aware. Seder says, I wonder where my isekai light novel fits into this. So, Xandra, I would assume that the works that you do, your light novel style, is most likely traditional, aka old school isekai, if I could guess. I don't know. With touches of postmodern. Because when I talk about traditional, we're talking about the shows that are in the vein of the roots of a different world. Well, here's the thing. So different world, you're going to find that in literature. It's a whole genre in there. But the early anime ones, your Fushigi Yugi, your Escaflowne, your Inuyashas, are influenced by Alice in Wonderland and The Wizard of Oz. So that's the beginnings of isekai in Japanese anime. And then there's shows like Dog Days, which have a male character. There are shows with male characters that are isekais. But the modern isekai that we know, the overpowered main character, the harem of women who all love him, all of those tropes, really all come because Sword Art Online, even though Dot Hack did it first, Sword Art Online made it very fucking popular. And then you have the twins of, oh, it can be a video game. It doesn't have to be a different world. Um, but that made it really popular. And then shows like Overlord and that kind of twist and those subgenres. And then you end up with the reactionary, which is the postmodern, which is, okay, but it's a comedy. Okay, but it's a girl. We're doing a girl this time, and it's self-aware. Yeah, but what if instead of a young boy, you wake up in a spider's body, or you wake up in a slime's body, or you wake up as a vending machine, uh, and yeah, and all of those incarnations. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what I was writing at the time, but it defo was inspired by classic stuff like the ones you mentioned. Yeah, um, and then there are throwback ones. Ascendance of the Bookworm is a reaction um, to that. And they got weirder and weirder, and they're going to keep getting weirder and weirder. And there's like, there's the manga that is the that time I got reincarnated as Yamcha, which I still haven't read, and I will read someday. But the idea of somebody who loves Dragon Ball Z waking up as Yamcha is so funny to me that eventually I will have to read that because it's just a brilliant idea. Um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, like as a I like modern isekai. I shouldn't. I know. I'll poke holes on a lot of it because sometimes it's garbage. Like one of the examples? Oh yeah. Like high school prodigies have it easy in this in even the next life. Like that's not a good show. I watched it. It's not a good show. I watched it. Like I watched Isekai Cheat Magicians. I watched Young Man's Wise Man's Grandchild. Uh I will watch bad isekai. I didn't finish the one where everybody called him either brother or father. It had like a weird name. It was like Eternal Magic and the blah blah blah. And I did stop watching that because that was like that one was too much. I also yeah like yeah I don't watch all of them, but I do watch a lot of them because I do. All right, let's take a break from talking about isekai and let's talk about the third show. One of my three favorite shows this season, uh, Kakushigoto. It's on Funimation. Most of this episode was taking place in the current timeline and not the future sad timeline. Uh, wasn't that the one where it felt like the anime started 2/3 of the way into the season? Dirty. That there was a show that started with like, as yes, it started with like already establishing a lot of the rules of the series without telling you anything about the rules of that series, and you were just like, "What?" Yes. Uh, there was a whole like yes, like it was the second season of the show basically. Uh, and it wasn't like the first episode where like the first episode of Eighth Son is after all of the rest of the event. The Eighth Son is all a flashback to before the first episode, or like uh, the very beginning of um, Next Life as like as villainous. She's entering school and then she flashes back to how she got to that point for the first like 5 episodes, and now she's at the school. It's all that thing. Yeah, that was that show. This show, Kakushigoto. Uh, this episode was mostly about getting a dog, and if Hime is ready for a dog. And it also was incredibly funny because one of the things I really liked about the episode was finding out that the office, because, well, if he has a puppy, they need to bring that puppy to the office during the day, and everyone who works there at the manga office being very excited about the idea of a puppy. Um, and the 10 Commandments of owning a dog was very cute and very fun. There's a lot to really love about this episode. I thought it was really strong and really touching. Once again, the teacher is one of my favorite characters in the show. Um, there's a resurgence of Hime's friends and their detective thing. Uh, uh, the teacher, who you always see in a tracksuit, has a dog and is taken for walks and kind of talking uh, with our manga lead, our mangaka. We learn more about manga in the idea that um, assistants that don't debut on their own make it so other assistants don't want to work for the manga author because it looks like if you work there you won't be able to branch out on your own. Good night, Harold. Uh, Thanks for being here, my friend. Um, so that was kind of fun. Uh, and then it ends with all of the characters in the future, and we see the teacher in the future. She's got long hair and a dress. And because we know that in the future, we know something sad happened. We've been prepping for something sad to happen. There is an undercurrent of it's very light and very silly. This show has a lot more heart than I've said. I've said this before. The idea of a guy who is embarrassed that he draws manga with dirty jokes in it and doesn't want his daughter to know, who's trying to raise her on his own. Now we learn that she is the daughter of a classic like artist, like a well-known, well-respected painter, uh, uh, and that she was an artist and a pianist, uh, and their love was forbidden, and it's this whole thing. It's a whole lot, and we know we know that he dies. Or at the very, we assume that he dies. We know something bad happened to him because she's alone. Uh, or he's in the process of dying, maybe, when we're seeing this. I don't know. But this show is a lot more than I thought it was going to be, and it's cute and fun and really sweet. Um, then I highly recommend it. It's one of the best shows this season. And the opening song and closing song are both really good, too. Um, so, yeah. I can't recommend it enough. I think it is one of the strongest shows of the season and totally worth your time and attention. So yeah, Kakushigoto. And now I will go and look at Crunchyroll to see if anything's been updated. No, Gallon Dino is the last show that was updated as being on hiatus. Uh, a Pokemon movie being on hiatus is a big deal as well. A bunch of the movies were there. Crunchyroll dubs just started coming out for shows that would have come out a couple weeks ago. So if you want to watch the dub for Tower of God and My Next Life is a Villainous, like the first couple episodes of that are available, which they were not up until now. All right, let's put the big burger on, and then we're going to put the small burger on next. Here's the big burger. Got to put the big burger is on. We got a big burger on our truck. Got a big burger on our truck. There. And, oh yeah, this goes like this. There. And now we got to build a small burger. This is the only thing we have left. And yes, we will be tearing this down and building again, and most likely that'll be a thing that I do on the next stream, or a Saturday will be. Saturday we will be working on the second and third kits because Sometimes in a 3-in-1, you get 3 booklets. This just gives 1 big booklet. So we still have the other versions of this kit to build, but I mean, this is how you want it to end up, right? Like, who are we kidding? If you were going to get this 3-in-1 and then you were going to put this on display somewhere, this is how you would do it. You would do it as the Burger Monster Truck. There's no way you would do another thing. Well, let's build ourselves a hamburger here. Yeah, so that's the anime for this couple days. I'm sad to hear that Gal and Dino is going on hiatus because that show is lovely. Um, but any show that goes on hiatus, I am not surprised about. Any show that is announcing they're not going to be in the summer or the fall, and they're getting pushed, like, none of that surprises me. With all these shows coming back, new shows not getting the work in, them just kind of figuring out how to do, like Japan figuring out how to do subtitle, like not subtitle, but Japanese voice recordings from home. They're just kind of figuring out how that works and trying to get that what's done and all that. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, so we got our burger. These are all extra pieces, which we'll just kind of put where they need to go, here and here. We'll put that there. Just kind of grouping things together. So this is our truck struggling with remote working. Yeah, I mean a lot of businesses are and industries are. They're trying to figure out. Okay, so here is our truck. Put it there. You know, obviously the green doesn't work great on this camera, but looks pretty good on this camera. Here's our monster truck. It does have its fold down stairs, and you can see in there. So we can have that. This thing is tall. It's a good size. And then we have our little outdoor situation here. We can move this over. We got our outdoor seating here. Have our person there. Because this guy's going to be riding our truck later, but not in this version. And then they got a big old burger. And then this weirdo can be driving it. Pop him in. Or he could be working. I guess we can have him work. I guess that would make more sense. Just pop the lid off there. And pop him in here. There is a good little bit of a spring here to it, to the monster truck. So you can get a little pop down on it. You don't want to push too much pressure on it. Otherwise, you will indeed pop off the stairs, which I just did. But yeah, this is our monster burger truck. It's got some stickers on there, and we have 2 other things we're going to be building. But right now, I'm gonna take a photo of this, and then we'll start taking it apart here as we kind of close off the stream, because I'm gonna have to build the part 2 and part 3, which are coming up. And those are gonna, they're gonna want you to disassemble that completely to get that going. Victory gong. Lord Crashington wants me to hit that gong, which I appreciate, and then also Dirty wants me to hit that gong. So we're gonna double gong here. First is gong. Oops, I got all fuzzy there. Sorry. Try to fix that. Hey, it's me. Gong. And you know what? I'll do a third gong. Oh well, Christian wants the gong too. So 4th gong. You get 1 gong for free. Our decorative gong. But yeah, I'm gonna disassemble this thing, but I'm gonna take some photos here. Value gong, right? Yeah. Let me take some photos here of what we did today. So we'll get a nice little group shot here of everything and our dog and all that. It's like fourth meal. Yeah. My table is not that straight, so it is hard to get all this in here. But all right. So there's that, and then we'll pop this in. Oops. Put it here. Oops. This one wrong. Well, we can just take that off. I gotta take this apart anyway, so let's do that because I want to get a front shot. Important. I'm going to get this guy driving this big truck here. We'll get a front-on shot of it because it won't look like this for a while because I'm going to take it all apart and then I'm going to put it all back together in a different configuration. And then I will eventually put it all back together like this. I'll just do it on my own off stream. I won't be building the same kit the same exact way twice. Don't you worry. All right. Photos of that. I wonder if I can get a... You know, here's my hope. My hope is that I can keep the burger like this. If I need these parts for either one of the other kits, I'll take it apart there. But my hope is I can keep the burger as is. But I'm going to disassemble everything else except for the dog. But my hope is that that doesn't get reused. But yeah, you know, it was built and it's cool, and then it's going to be deconstructed completely and totally. It'll be part of my things I do tomorrow. So then Saturday, it'll be properly nulled and everything will be out, and then I can just build it. But yeah, I'm not going to do that on stream right now or anything major. I'll just like take apart a couple pieces here and there. But that's why I have this. And that helps out a lot. And I also have my sponger in case for some reason like that doesn't work and I really need a better wedge than that. Because every once in a while you do run into a piece. The other nice thing about doing a 3-in-1 is that it shouldn't be too hard to disassemble because they literally expect you to do it. Okay, so what's going to happen right now is I'm going to go and raid a stream. We're going to go check out some other stream that I think we should go and visit, and we're going to share the love because that is what we do after every stream, which I should have been doing before all this happened, but I definitely do now. Okay. So, we are going to... Who's got what? Who's doing what? Who's happening where? A bunch of people doing things, playing scary games, playing Animal Crossing. We got a bunch of love. We could really shake things up. I'm gonna go see what's happening in this stream here. I gotta wait for an ad to play before I take a look at it because I think we're gonna raid someone who I am not subscribed to. So I gotta see what they're doing. And then we'll check them out. But I think I know who we're going to go raid. As I said, my next stream is going to be on Saturday. So please consider coming and checking that out. Risky raid. Well, that's the thing. I always want to check out what's going on and what they're doing. But I think it'll be okay. Saturday's my next stream. I'll be working on part 2 and part 3 of this kit. So come check that out. And thanks so much for being here and watching the stream. I appreciate it. Again to Dirty, thank you so much for all of those gift subs. That means so much to me. But yeah, we are going to go, I mean, Silver Streak is already there. We are going to go raid Mary Kish because she is is playing Silent Hill Homecoming. And that's a nightmare. So we are going to go give a raid to Mary Kish. Come along if you want. We're going to check this out. But this is a good duo of people doing this raid. So we're just going to go and check them out. You can come along. If you don't want to come along, I understand. Thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.